Hello and welcome back. Today I'm in Bar Hill Roman Fort. I'm actually at the Principia here, which is the kind of military headquarters. The reason I'm here is because just a stone's throw away there's a cracking set of trails there, and I only found them late into kind of lockdown. There's a lot of building going on there, some of the more established trails I didn't know about, and I came and rode them a couple of times and had a blast. They were really good. So I kind of show off some of the trails over there. They're short, compact and steep, but they pack in kind of a lot of features, and yeah, kind of show them off. At the end of the video, if I've got enough time, I'll give you a wee tour around the remains of the Bar Hill Roman Fort and give you a bit of background information on how it came about to be here, and a wee bit of a kind of theory for Game of Thrones, and see how that fits into this as well. So if you want to see that, I'll put it on the end of the video, but right now let's get up for the mountain biking. Okay, I've just remembered the name of the first trail, the longer one, the traverse, called Third Way. That's Bar Hill Roman Fort, a couple hundred metres over there. There's the path I took. And since after that, I've been kind of looping around, coming up this one here. So I'm going to do the Third Way again. It's not obviously as steep because it's obviously longer, it uses more of the hillside. There's a couple of wee off-camber bits, and hard to kind of negotiate sort of trees as well. They get pretty narrow. But yeah, I'm going to go for that one again. Now I'm fully warmed up, and just see if I can carry the speed over this route to climb and get ready to drop in. So on we go. I have a knee pad thing, so you can see I've got to try and carry it. Up and over, more routes. I'm completely in the wrong gear, and then that's into the trail. Oh, watch out of the way. Oh, I don't know. There he goes. There was a guy, I had to slow down for him. Didn't want to chase a Strava time just to give him a heart attack or squash him. And like I said, this looks different. Just a wee boozer jump there. And that's so hard to negotiate. So it starts getting all off camber. And stay right. You see what I mean? It just kind of couple of climbs. I need to drop a gear, and got to drop your shoulder for a few of those trees. This is really, a nice way of doing this one. Ah, that's better than I've done it. I'm scalped the tree. That's much better than the warm-up run. And there you go. Oh, cracking fun. I really enjoyed that one. Okay, back up. I'm going to try the trail that peeled off of Forrest Gump. I don't have a name for it, because I think it merges two different trails. If you know it, pop in the comments, or find out, I'll stick it all in here. But yeah, I remember this before. It kind of flowed really well, nice berms and a couple wee features and kind of root gaps and stuff like that. But Yeah, it was really good, flowed really well. You just wanted to kind of carry on, but again, it's a steep hillside, so it just kind of packs in as much as they can. So let's just see what it's like. It looks completely different here just now because these massive ferns are covering half the trail, so I'll see what it looks like. But again, you just kind of drop it in here and it's off to the left. So in we go. Oh, 103. Oh, you're drifting at the back there. Sliding a bit, and then pop on. And that's it. Whew, man, shorter than I remembered, but just as good. Just trying to get used to the bike moving around a bit more. Because it's not been ridden as much, there's still that kind of loam, and it has been a wee dry spell and then rain, so it's got that kind of soft, feels kind of quite grippy, tacky, but the yeah, it's just kind of something you're used to. The more well-worn trails are hard packed. This one you get a bit more movement in the bike, so I just need to relax a little bit more and to get comfortable with the bike moving around. It almost felt like I got a flat, but no, running the tires quite soft actually, maybe that's what it is as well. Alright, back up, hunting for another one. Up, a nice wee climb on this side, but maybe give you some idea now. I'll be trying to adjust the aspect ratio of the GoPro, take off the super view, so you can pick out, it's a nice kind of steep hillside, and they pack all the trails into there. Not a lot of area, but they really do just make the best use out of it. So this is the nice kind of combined walker's path and whatnot. It's fairly easy to keep looping it. I'll have to check how long it takes. Definitely maybe less than 10 minutes I would say. But then you get a minute of some descent, maybe 2 minutes if you do the long traverse. But ideal for something I can get to within 20 minutes in the house. I think it'd be a different beast altogether in the wet. Because it's so loamy, it would just be like slimy. I'm sure some people like that. You can see evidence of more trails getting built. And there was exit there, so back up and see if we can find another one. Okay, you just come up top of the climb there, and the entrance is just off the fire road. The climb doesn't seem as bad as it was before. I'm getting fitter. Okay, this is a wee bit tough actually. See, this first guy I saw do it was an e-bike, but you kind of get to carry your speed over the but just a wee steep bit and then it gets techie. I'm not going to do the whole climb, I'm just going to go over the first bit and I'll probably chill from there, but just so you can see what it looks like. Give it a go. I think speed's your friend here. And getting your pedal strokes at the right side. Yeah, there we go. That was much better. Climbing's coming back. Oh, awesome! First time I've done that. It's probably going to look absolute child's play. Maybe it is for most people. Climbing's not something I tend to focus on. Okay, back up. Trying for Forrest Gump this time. Okay, coming up there from the walk to Bar Hill Roman Fort, just a few hundred yards over there. That's the climb I'm coming up this time, and back up to the kind of trailhead bit. I'm going to try a run down Forrest Gump, which kind of shares the initial start point for them all. Just see if I can turn up the pace a wee bit. I've had a couple of warm-up runs on the other ones, and I'm getting used to the fact the trails are completely different. They're obscured with all the fern and bracken, so we're just going to head down, do the Forrest Gump one. That was I think it's one of my favourite ones. But let's just see how it goes. So this will be all of it from the start all the way to the bottom of Forrest Gump. So try and catch a wee bit of speed into the start, because you got a wee route to climb, and then try and conserve the energy. So you can see this is the climb, and the roots just push you to the side. See if we're getting here, and then you're kind of starting the descent now. I should have maybe held back at the top a bit longer, get my legs recovered. Okay, and then last wee bit of climbing before you drop back in. There we go. This looks different. Yeah, that's different. He's probably jumped there. Almost lost the front end there. And drop into left. There we go. Into the steep side. Off camber. Oh, sliding. Drop in. Superb. That's Forrest Gump. That's superb. God, really enjoyed that. This is the bit that's been blocked off. They were building some extra stuff there. But we just check out this chute. I wonder if it looks like a GoPro. Okay, I'll well, there's the easier option down there. That's really good. I'm getting more comfortable with the steeper stuff. There's a guy, oh, Doogie, I've forgotten his second name. Anyway, met him up here one day on the e-bikes, and I followed him down that line because I just wasn't too sure about the braking and the run out. So yeah, thanks to him, managed to do that one. And once you've done it, then you know, you can just do it yourself. So cheers for that. Okay, that's it for the mountain biking section. I had a blast there. Forgotten how good that was actually, and it was good to get a few laps in there as well, especially on push for time. But I've got enough time to put in a bit of the history for this area if you're going to come here as well. I'm walking along the ruins here of what would have been the military regimental bathhouse for the Roman Empire that was stationed here. But I suppose you have to rewind back, trying to find out what was the Antonine Wall, who built it and why was it here. You have to really go back to probably the most famous of Roman emperors, who's Julius Caesar, who in 55 BC tried to invade what would then become later known as England and Wales. Didn't have much success, and following on from him, a few years later in 43 BC was the Emperor Claudius, and he had more success, and he kind of pushed up the borders of the Roman Empire through England to the kind of northern part, most of Wales, and then cutting across there as well. But they didn't truly manage to sort of get any further forward. There's a few raiding parties here and there, You had to fast forward to 77 AD, where you had Gnaeus Julius Agricola, and he was a bit more ambitious, and he did push the frontiers right up into Scotland, and they had varying success. But again, it wasn't enough. They couldn't hold on to that land. They just couldn't subjugate the people that they referred to as the Caledonians, or they referred to it as Caledonia, and the Caledonians would be the tribes in there, and they referred to these people as the barbarians, kind of generally bigger, red-haired barbarians. And after that, they had the less expansive emperor, would be Emperor Hadrian. Everyone's familiar with Hadrian's Wall. And Hadrian's Wall is intact a bit more than than an Antonine Wall, just due to the fact it was a stone structure. So Hadrian's Wall was 122, and that formed the boundary. It's all across the northern most part of England, and that became the Roman Empire's. That was their. They basically walled off Caledonia, so they built a wall, and they used that to kind of push their military campaigns further up. And it wasn't until this was built, Antonine Wall, in 142, and that was from the Emperor Antoninus Pius, and he built that here. And this was after they'd conquered pretty much the Roman Empire. At this point was in full swing, and they had soldiers garrisoned here, hundreds of soldiers that they took here from Lower Rhineland. They had Himanian archers from Syria. So it was a kind of mixed bag of people, and people they'd conquered down in what they referred to as Roman Britain. So that was all going good from there, but they just couldn't hold on to this area, because despite the fact that this Antonine Wall goes across the central part of Scotland, all the way from the Clyde to the Firth of Forth, so some of the Clyde to Old Kilpatrick to Bo'ness, and they built fortlets and fort garrisons. They had soldiers stationed all the way along in mile intervals as well. They couldn't hold on to the area, and eventually the true boundary for the Roman Empire then fell back to Hadrian's Wall, and then obviously the collapse of the Roman Empire in 3rd or 4th century before they left Britain. But yeah, so I'll just show you a bit of the bathhouse. It's not a full-on thing, but it's just a bit of interesting if you can colour it in yourself. You can imagine, show you some pictures of artist impressions, and you imagine this place bustling with hundreds of soldiers. And yeah, Game of Thrones type thing, where you've got different people trying to hold on, expanding empires, taking over the leadership from Italy and Rome to, you've got they built a wall, and the wildlings or the barbarians on the other side of the wall, and you know, the free people there. So it's kind of, you can see how they've pulled in the history of basically the whole of the British Isles. And following on from there, you've got things like yeah, I suppose like the War of the Roses, more similar kind of narrative that compares with the Lannisters and all the kind of parties there. And even Westeros itself, the name derives from Westeros, which is up a region in Scotland. And the map itself of Westeros is like an inverted British Isles with Eire and Ireland being made bigger. So there, the Antonine Wall, just to kind of finish this off here, I'll show you a picture of the Antonine Wall in Falkirk, where it still remains to almost as is this day, the ditch. So they basically dug out a big ditch, and they put all the soil on one side, and then fortified that with pitch and wooden palisades, and they built it up to like about 10 metres wide ditch, which is a defensive line, wooden palisades and forts and garrisons all the way along. And then you had the kind of Celtic tribes with the barbarians that they were trying to keep out, so to speak, and that's who was coming down here. But like I said, because of the structure of it, not all of it remains to this day, but just you can see following the line there, and that goes right the way across the country. So I'll show a picture of the best example. And lastly, this is the Roman bathhouse. So let's just check this out. This would be your kind of furnace area here. So this would be felt, you know, this is like a 2-storey big building here. The furnace would be going in there, and this effectively was like a modern day spa. Quite sophisticated for something that's almost like 2,000 years, well 1800 years, but this is the water coming down, all the heat building up here, and this would be your kind of hot room, your calidarium, pretty much like a steam room. And further down with the water channels and the heat in the building, you would then get down to your tepidarium or warm room, sort of drier heat, so you're looking at saunas, that kind of thing. And then, well, that would actually be more the laconicum, which is the hot dry room. So it's more like a steam room to a sauna. Further down, wee passage, and then as you go down here, so you can imagine you start up there, you've been stationed on your, you've been garrisoned up on a fortlet, fighting barbarians, and you come down here, and this way you kind of go down and get all cleaned and set up for the next shift. And this would be the changing areas down here, and the latrines down that part there. Military headquarters up there, Principia, granary, civilian houses, hundreds of people living here. And if you go to the Hunterian Museum in Glasgow, they've got artefacts that were taken out of the well, and various kind of shoes and clothing, and even parts of the bows and the actual arrows that the Himanian archers from Syria had in their kind of stuff there as well. So it's kind of fascinating to do this kind of thing. So it's great. Mountain biking takes you here, there and everywhere, and you pick up all the interesting bits in between. So anyway, if this was helpful, or you enjoyed it, was a bit useful, then let us know in the comments, and hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for watching. Catch you later, guys. Bye.